Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome along to this, your online streaming comedy show on a night when, even though we're still in the lockdown, things are easing and the Brit Awards is happening tonight. Just goes to show that not everything that happens after the lockdown is eased is going to be good. So, however, this hopefully will be, and we'll still be here doing this show where we stream into your homes, two comedians solving all of the world's problems. You can add to that list as well if you'd like to get involved in the chat. That will be going on through the show. We'll talk about ways that you could help to chuck some money in our little pot. That helps us out as well. If you pre-book tickets, good luck to you. But get yourself a drink, get sat down, and get ready to see the world's problems melt away as we get involved and sort them out. And to that point, Mr. Eric McElroy, I say to you, what's your first problem?
I really feel like you've oversold that, Steve. I'm a little bit nervous now if all of the world's problems are going to melt away, because after a year of doing this, things are just getting worse. This is a problem, Steve. I don't know if you have this one. I don't know if our viewers have this one, but it's a problem you're going to have now after you watch this next piece. And this is the problem of spaghetti bolognese. Do you like how I did that with the newsreader voice? Was that good?
What, someone trying to do an impression of a newsreader? It'll never catch on.
Now, this is coming from the United States. Exactly. I mean, definitely wouldn't get them that took me a second to get what you were doing there, which in case you're missing that, Steve's making fun of himself because he used to be on national television, but now he's here with me. So not quite sure who the winner is in that one. But this is a problem coming, of course, from America, and it's coming from two seemingly nice people. I want to give them credit for this because they put the video out there. It's Josh and Lisa. Hi, Josh and Lisa. Don't they look nice?
Oh.
Don't they look nice? We don't get to meet Josh in the clips I'm about to show you, but we do get to meet Lisa, and she looks really sweet there. And enjoy this moment when you're looking at Lisa and think she looks like a nice person, because after I show you what I'm going to show you, you're going to hate her. You're going to hate all that she stands for and represents, because this is the story we're going to talk about, Steve. Right here, we're talking about people who are making countertop spaghetti.
What?
Yes. Now, you might remember, we've looked at some different ways of cooking from the United States. We've looked at how to make a proper cup of tea. We've looked how to do bread, beans on bread, which was a British delicacy that you didn't even know that you enjoyed. We've learned how to make nachos on a countertop. But Steve, did you ever think spaghetti bolognese was something that could be made on a countertop?
It can't.
No. Oh, yes. Yes, it can. Let's see how it begins.
Holy cow. That's just right on the countertop.
Yep, all my friends are coming over.
Holy
This
smokes.
is the easiest way
Is it?
to make spaghetti for a crowd.
I mean, if you're do you hate your friends who are coming over? Are they a bunch of Scientologists? Are you trying to punish them for some reason? I mean, how is this the easiest way to feed a crowd? Now, the woman watching this video, she comes across, at least initially, as the voice of reason out of the two of them. She seems like she's got the reasonable perspective.
It's on your countertop.
Yeah, this is how it works.
But it's all over your counter.
Yeah, it's all over your counter. That is what we were all thinking watching this. This is the era of COVID. Have you bleached that counter? If so, I'm going to be eating your bleached spaghetti.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, you start to see that, right? And you're thinking, what could make this more inappropriate than serving food on your filthy counter?
And then the next step is you need a meatballs.
Meatballs, okay.
That's right. We could be mildly xenophobic. Hey, I'm Italian. What am I doing here? I'm just dumping the spaghetti all over your countertop. And now we start to lose the woman filming this because she goes for it too. So you're thinking, as everyone is, why are you doing this?
And you've done this before.
Oh yeah, we do this all the time. This is like
Holy
literally
smokes. This
the
is
fastest
so
way.
cool.
to feed a ton of people.
Is it? I mean, really, just the fastest way would just be to put the food in a trough and feed them like they're a bunch of pigs. I mean, that's basically what she's done there, is countertop trough. But, of course, you can't have spaghetti without the pasta, can you? Bring on the pasta.
Wow.
And then you take your noodles
Oh my gosh.
and you just dump it. Yep. Could be a little hot, so be careful.
Sure.
Okay. Now, this is where I'm going to ask some legitimate questions and try and take this just a little bit seriously. This is the first moment in preparing this meal, which would normally be served hot, that she's mentioned heat. She's bringing the hot pasta in there. But if you notice at the beginning, she was dumping the sauce directly out of a jar. Now, I don't know how you cook sauce, but you don't normally do it cold out of a jar and then with cold meatballs. And now all of a sudden she's worried about a little bit of heat in the pasta.
Yeah, when I do it, I put the sauce on the floor because I've got heated tiles. So.
That would actually make more sense than what she's doing, Steve. At least then it would be warm by the time that you poisoned your guests. Because that's the key thing. She is thinking all about her guests.
Right.
Because you don't want your guests to go hungry.
I would never want my guests to go hungry.
Okay, so we pile them on up there.
Wow.
Just
I gotta be honest with you. If I went to your house, I would go home hungry. I'm pretty comfortably saying this. Now, I know that I said that she was from America, but it does serve a question. Like, I mean, is this just an American thing? We've seen the nacho lady put stuff on the counter. Now we're seeing the pasta lady put stuff on the counter. Where are these ideas coming from?
Yeah.
you want it all covered.
This is amazing. Where did you see this? Like, is this a family tradition?
Well, I'm Italian,
Yeah.
and real Italians, this is how you make spaghetti.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Oh, no, you are not Italian, and you don't know that because you're not a real Italian like the rest of us. I mean, I Googled it even. Like, do Italians make food on countertops? And the internet came back to me and just said, fuck no, what is wrong with you, you asshole? But you watch that, Steve, and you think, is there anything that could just make it a little bit more gross and a little bit more xenophobic? And yes, there is. Maybe if I clicked on the right thing. I built up to that really emphatically, didn't I? And then I clicked on the wrong part. Is there anything that could make this gross and more xenophobic? Yes, there is.
Add a little salad at the end.
Oh my gosh.
Right
Yeah.
here, like that. Italian!
Oh my gosh.
Duh.
Because that's what makes it Italian. Some dressing that's probably just all E numbers that has the word Italian on it. That's all it takes. But I do want to give one last word to the chef because she put all this effort out there. And here you go.
This was a definition of family style.
Yes, it is the definition of family style if you're from a family of cavemen.
Wow.
These are my people.
It looks tasty. I mean, the dressing on the salad, I think that was just Mr. Sheen. Just got to keep it clean at the same time.
That's where she cleaned the counter.
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
Lord. I mean, is it too much trouble to use bowls? I don't understand how that's better, because then you've got to spend more time cleaning the work surface, haven't you?
I mean, the thing is, let's assume she's cleaned the counter and that for somehow this is easier to set up. Like it's just a gigantic platter. You'd still want the sauce to be hot. So then you'd be boiling hot sauce on your countertop, which would just be dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of a work. I know we said it the last time you did one, but when you see them pouring it on the work surface, it just looks like it's like a Japanese businessman dinner and they've forgotten the naked lady. You just get that kind of picture.
I did not get this from Pornhub, I swear.
But we're uploading it to it to see how it goes down.
Right.
All right, see some comments. Tom says, good evening, all the people. All the people. So many people. Britt says, hi everyone. Jack's here as well. Chris is here. All right, let's get into some of the commentary on it. Do we know the results yet, says Tom. No, that's going to take a while. Britt says, I give Comic Solving Problems an award. A Brit Award, as such.
Oh,
so we've won an award. That's
very
nice. Tracy's here. Hi, guys. Hi, Tracy. Mark says, Eric, you look less hairy.
Yes. Thank you. If they had, maybe they missed Thursday where I was cut
Yeah.
live on air.
Well, Chris says spaghetti bowl of what? And then Stephen Leatherdale, that's not cooking, it's just spilling stuff. But then you commit to the bit and go, no, this is how we do it in my family.
Yeah, that's important to do with the Italian accent.
Yeah, putting the at the end of everything, other than the word counter, because it's already got you. It's double whammied you. Counter. Britt says she scrapes the leftovers into a tub and heats it in a microwave. Did you know, as a little sidebar on that, is it a BAFTA nomination that Nigella Lawson got because of the microwave thing?
What?
She gets a BAFTA for that. We do a show here where we talk about not only the microwave, the toaster, and stabbing ourselves with a knife. Not a mention.
You know, these days, probably the only award we're going to get nominated for are the Golden Globes, which are being canceled in America because...
we qualify.
Yeah, we would qualify. So
Tracy says, if she did that to my worktops, I'd make her lick my dog's bottom.
That's what she did for dessert.
I've got a shit on the table for dessert. Jack says, in 1989, Sunita made love on a countertop. Did she? Strange thing to remember that. Were you there? Were you watching? Mark says that would warm the countertop. That's exactly it. That solves Eric's problem. If you make love on the countertop, then at least it's not cold before you pour your sauce all over it.
And it gives that extra flavoring. Special herbs and spices.
Yeah, you can see where the meatballs have been. Where's Josh? Says Stephen Leatherdale. How did you get those meatballs? Dun dun dun. It's Josh surprise. If you eat actual Italian pasta dishes, says Mark, you notice very quickly there's a distinct lack of meat. It's a lot of pasta with a coating of meat/sauce, not a coating of Mr. Muscle. Well, you know,
it's true.
Keep things clean. That's Mr. Sheen. So keep the comments coming through. That's one story already solved. I guess the solution is don't eat food that you've just poured onto a work surface.
That is a good. Well, that's what we want. We have life lessons that we have here, not just problems that we solve. So yeah, and while you're watching, please remember give the show a thumbs up as well if you enjoy what we're doing.
And the Ko-fi link is there if you'd like to stop us from starving. We're not yet at the stage of having to eat food without using plates, but we're close. So
that's the next step.
Link is right there. Meanwhile, I've got a problem that I'd like to get stuck into.
Please.
It's the end of lockdown. Again, new rules. Confusing. I always find whenever we change the rules, it is quite confusing because there have just been so many phases. It's difficult to know what to do, what you can't do. So we're here to help. So from May the 17th, COVID lockdown roadmap, new rules are coming in. Let's go through some of those rules that might affect our life. For example, people in England will be able to meet indoors in groups of up to 30. Seems a bit much. Indoors up to 6 people or as 2 households, already confusing, but it's worth it for this part of the rule. Children of any age, including babies, will count towards the limit of 6 people indoors. Yes, brilliant. So that means you're not going to have someone who turns up to a coffee shop with, I brought me 17 kids here with me while I ignore them. Oh, that's a shame. You're not allowed to do that. Oh, I think some of these rules after lockdown should be kept, including that one. You don't need to meet more than 6 people at once, and kids count. Keep those numbers low.
That's the first time I've ever heard you say that kids count.
The kids count. Although, I'm not anti-kids. I'm paying attention to the rules that impact kids as well.
Yeah.
Secondary school children will no longer be required to wear masks in the classroom or communal areas. And I think that is a shame. Because if I were a kid, I'd be enjoying this mask phase.
Yeah.
Because that way you can sit in the classes and you can make noise and they won't know it's you talking. I mean, obviously, I would be doing it wearing a Bane from Batman mask.
Yeah, of course.
I'd have... You think the darkness is your ally. You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, which made the birth difficult. My mother thought that the placenta was my twin. She called me Bane. She called it Simon. See, that's what I'd be spending my time doing. And I think it's, look, kids, if you're watching the show, do that tomorrow at school. It will be enjoyable. Also, one of the rules that's going to impact us, people will be allowed to stay overnight. A lot of newspapers have talked about this. Is where the sex starts to happen in groups of up to 6, you dirty mucky pups. Oh, 6 people all getting up. That's what's going to happen a lot. Now the lockdown's going on, so let's get 6 round here. Oh, you dirty buggers. Although, speaking about how this has been sexualized, I read this in the rules. Adult sports can resume indoors. Now, I don't know what adult sports are, but they sound pornographic, especially when you realise they're being opened at the same time as saunas and steam rooms. What are adult sports, and is it things like this?
And you join us for the semi-final of Assuming the Doggy Position. Hilton has previous good form. That's a good start. Nice bounce and nails the landing. You've got to be happy with that.
So childish. I'm aware of that. All right, but let's plow on to more rules. How about this one? Weddings, receptions, and other life events will be allowed to take place with up to 30 people. The first two I understand, but life events? I mean, there are lots of things that I'd consider to be life events. We all remember the first time you accidentally catch yourself in your zip. That was a big life event, but I didn't want 30 people there to watch. So, weird. But the one that everyone's talking about, the one that even you messaged me to say, I guess you want to talk about this week. It's the return of the hugs. So people, the first bit, people will have a choice of whether to socially distance, and we always did. Right? That's not a new special thing. I think we were, even before someone licked a bat and it all went crazy, you were allowed to not stand within 2 meters of people, strangely. Like, even the police had a song about that, so that's fine. But the other part of that rule is that hugging can happen. But we're being urged to remain cautious about the risks of hugging. Can we not just not hug? Look, I'm not a hugger. We've talked about this so many times. I don't like it when people just get in your personal space and, I'm in personal space so much. And look, maybe I've changed, because I've not hugged a stranger for like a year and a half now. Maybe that's cured me. Maybe when this all is over, I'll be handsy and my career will end that way. It's difficult to know.
What career?
But I don't. Yeah, this. You're going to end up reporting me. But I don't like hugging. It's an invasion of my personal space, and it's so difficult. And I work in an industry where everyone's flipping, get away from me. And it's difficult for people like me, introverts. It's been great for a year and a half to not have to deal with inappropriate hugging. But it also means our tolerance has been lowered. So when people hug, I'll be even more like a cat in a Pepe Le Pew cartoon trying to crawl out of people's arms. It's going to be difficult for me, and that's why on a separate YouTube channel, I've started these instructional videos. Hello, and welcome to Self-Defense for Introverts. Now, as the lockdown eases, it's likely that someone might try to hug you. You need to be ready. If you've met someone a handful of times, or if you work in the media and you've met them barely once, they are likely to attack. So, as they begin their attack, recognise the signs. They're likely to open up their hands to go in for the hug. That's when you turn side on, minimise the profile, and extend your hand to present it for shaking. Now, if they are insistent, they will try and lean in for a kiss, in which case, move most of your weight to the supporting back leg, and then heel of palm strike to the face and break their nose. Good luck. And that is what I think we all need as we go back into this terrifying world of hugging. Oh.
Why is there an inflatable mattress against the wall of your room when you were doing that?
Right now. Still there right now. I just turned it around. It's because not too much of a echo on that clap.
Okay.
Because I've soundproofed this bad boy with at least one inflatable mattress.
And you sleep like a vampire, hanging from the ceiling. I have to say, in that bit, I enjoyed it. I do have one criticism. You did a routine there where you talked about not more than 30 people being there, especially when, you zip yourself up inappropriately. And that should have been a classic, Steve, where you should have said, and that's why I'm not allowed back in Tesco's.
Oh, did I miss
How could you leave that hanging? Literally. With your zipper around your balls.
Because normally, I mean, I'm amazed by now we've not had Tesco's complain about the number of times the punchline is, and that's why I'm banned from my local Tesco.
But how could you say those words and not deliver that punchline?
I think it's because I, for some reason, spent so long today trying to find a clip where a gymnast lands in the doggy position. It's all very well having these ideas for jokes, but then when you've actually got to make the damn thing...
And that's why we need your support. Help Steve be able to remember the bits that he could say, and that's why I'm not allowed in my local Tesco's anymore. Your contribution helps every time Steve makes that ridiculous observation.
Pull back reveal joke. You can also help Steve to fund reinstalling Windows 10 to clear up all of his search history after today's hideous search.
And help Steve get nicer inflatable mattresses to put against the wall. Maybe even one to sleep in. Right. Let's catch up on some comments here. Chris Hood retracted something. Naughty Chris. He said bat licking method. That's a new method we haven't tried. A little bat licking going on. Britt says the number one rule of Cuddle Club is that no one talks about Cuddle Club.
Oh, God, is there a Cuddle Club? Although you can't tell me. But,
Oh, Steve, you need a hug.
No, I don't know why people think getting into your business is appropriate. Kind of,
Yeah.
Hi, I've not seen you since that one time we met.
And people are people are gonna be extra cuddly coming out of this.
Yeah.
I've already had one person we ended up giving a little awkward hug, even though it was illegal. I broke the law, people. I'm a rebel.
But that's the thing about all of this. They're going to make hugging legal. It was never really illegal. It was guidance. But also, even if they did make it illegal, no one's getting sent to prison for hugging. Well, what are you in for? I'm a murderer. What are you in for? I'm a thief. What are you in for? I'm a granny hugger.
Yeah.
No one's saying that out loud.
You see, Steve, that's where you're wrong, because that's what the government's been doing, all right? Is you take away our right to hug. That's what they're there for. That's what I want to do from now on.
It's taking away my right to hug. I mean, don't really bother me because I don't see the kids anymore. But, if I did...
I don't think this government is going to stop people hugging, stop people from affection. The Prime Minister is Boris Johnson. The man needs to stop hugging. The man needs to cut back on the infection, the affection. We got a DIY, do your own padded room method, which, Steve's been in a padded room for a while.
When I move out to there is a new earmarked studio space for a better kit. That's going in there. And the other blow-up mattress that I used to use, it's going to be soundproof like you wouldn't believe.
Wow. And we can have sleepovers. Because that's legal now, too.
They'll be on the wall.
Yeah. We could get together. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Look at the moon. Mark says, quote, I was asked if you've tried the fresh plums, end quote.
And that's why I was banned from Tesco. Yeah.
There it is. That's what I'm looking for. And Chris has given us the ba-dum-tsh. You still have that queued up? Didn't you have a ba-dum-tsh?
No, we just had a gag end. I can play the gag end if you want to do the full acting out.
And I was asked if you tried the fresh plums.
Do the punchline?
I was going to let you do the punchline.
Okay. And that's why I'm banned from Tesco.
It's a punchline. I can take it away from you. Jack says, my neighbor is 83. He said, apparently I can hug you on Monday, but I'm not going to. I like that.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Did you hear the acting there? I did the 83-year-old voice.
Yeah,
I can hug you on Monday. That's my method there. Or maybe he's, I could hug you on Monday, but I'm not going to because I'm making the sauce on my counter.
Because he's Count Dracula from Sesame Street? The Count.
One piece of spaghetti. Two pieces of spaghetti. I think he was Italian. He was Italian-American.
Dracula? You think he was Italian-American?
Probably. I mean, he probably made pasta that way. Right. Are we ready for our next problem, Steve?
Yes, let's get stuck in. Keep the messages coming through, and if you'd like to chuck some coins in our pot, it would very much be appreciated by this whole project. But yes, Mr. Eric McElroy.
There we go. Well, basically, I've lost place for where I am. Sorry about that. I can't see. I'm just going to chat here and think about the next problem that we have. This is a problem, not just a problem of my vision, which will be checked. I've been to the eye doctor for ages. These trifocals are killing me. This is the problem for running for political office when there was a dead woman in your bathtub. Can you relate to that, Steve?
No, I've never run for political office.
I figured that was going to be the thing that caught you out there. We want to meet the gentleman who had this issue right here. He's Mr. Charles Peruto Jr. He kind of looks like the kind of guy who would have a dead woman in his bed. You don't look at him and go, yeah, I'm the junior. My dad was the real killer. He's running for district attorney in Pennsylvania, I think in Philadelphia. And basically, I heard about him and because I saw this headline where he's a Philly DA, district attorney candidate, forced to address paralegal found dead in his mansion. The girl in my bathtub. I mean, was he forced to deal with it? I think he voluntarily dealt with it. It's the kind of thing that if you are running for political office, you do want to get out in front of. Definitely. You want to at least have your guests use the other shower. Perhaps. He's great, this Charles. Here's some of his political ads from his website. This is just how it begins. It's very much a low-budget CSI kind of thing because we all know that there was a dead woman in his bathtub already, so he's not going to waste it on visual or special effects. But this is the guy himself.
I'm Chuck Peruto, and I'm running for Philadelphia District Attorney.
I'm a really sweet guy. Don't fuck with me, or I'll offer you to take a chance to have a bath in my bathroom before I run for office. But don't worry, everybody will know about it. Now, how do we know about this situation? Well, he did realize that he needed to address it. So when you scroll down from that first image, which is about him, you see this on his website, which just says, the girl in my bathtub, right? You know, it's kind of like the girl with the golden tattoo or whatever that movie was. It's genuinely a sad story. Basically, there was a woman who died in his bathtub. He was out of town when it happens, which he makes very clear in this story repeatedly, that he has the text messages to prove that he was texting her from while he was out of town, and you can look at the pings on his phone that show he was nowhere near the incident when it occurred. He makes that really specific a number of times at that point. He also says, it's never good when something like this happens. It makes it very difficult to run for elected office. But as he talks about the situation, he makes it really clear who the real victim is. And basically, after the murder, he had several days where he couldn't even go back into his apartment. And as it continues on here, he says when he did go in, there was black dust everywhere, which was residue from collecting fingerprint evidence. I mean, that's the real crime. When the police leave, they do take the dead woman away, but they just leave a right mess.
And the thing is, you can't even report that crime, because if you do, they'll just come back and do it again.
Yeah, there's no win-win for the poor guy. He was investigated and cleared of the crime. I want to make that very clear. But he does hate the man who prosecuted him and investigated for the crime. Here he was later on in the same bio trying to make himself look like he should be elected to office, talking about the fact that the man who prosecuted him ended up having his own criminal problems and went away for a little while. And the last line there was, I was going to attend his sentencing with pom-poms, but I decided that was unprofessional. Elect me for your district attorney, because I know where to draw the line. Yeah, he's rational. So let's look at some of his policies, actually. I don't want to just, make fun of the guy. Let's see what he thinks about some of the policies of his opponent, for example, in this race.
Mr. Krasner has stated publicly that he will not seek the death penalty under any circumstances. He hasn't seen what I've seen.
Yeah. You know what I've seen? I've seen how difficult it is to get the black fingerprint dust out of your house. Those are the real people that deserve the death penalty. And he's got some very actual progressive views on crimes and punishment.
Everybody says, oh, Chuck, you're just too old school with all of these ideas. You're wrong. Second-degree murder, felony murder, first offense. I don't want to send these kids away for life for making their first mistake.
Yeah, the first time you kill somebody, I mean, these things can happen. Somebody asked to take a bath and you didn't ask for them to come over. They should get off for that. I think I'm doing a really good Philly accent, by the way.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Who knows? No one knows. Is it that? No. Now you think this guy, clearly there's no way that he could win, but he does have some policies that could push him over the line.
Let's talk about marijuana. It is insignificant to me. If you want to smoke marijuana, smoke marijuana.
Dude, this guy is awesome.
That lava lamp is starting to blend in.
Yeah, man. I need to find my baby doll where I hid my drugs. That's a callback to a previous episode for those of you who haven't seen it. So there we go. So we've moved on from the London mayoral election, Steve, and now we'll be looking at U.S. candidates for the next little while.
I did get the feeling that he should be voting for the other guy who doesn't want to chase the death penalty. It's win-win for this dude.
That's true. But then he wants to put in policy the fact that, one murder, that's second-degree murder, is not a big deal.
Yeah. And look, I guess the excuse would be she looked like a spider. And next thing I know, turns out I was wrong, and there she's dead. Is that his excuse? Is that what it was?
I guess, considering we're in the age of Donald Trump and he never admits that he's done anything wrong, at least this guy, there's no analogy that makes this make any sense.
She was dead when she got in the bath.
Vote for me.
I love that. I know where the line is. That I would have turned it with the pom-poms. That's too much. Dead body in the bath? Not enough. Pom-poms?
Not my fault.
Too much.
That dust. It's like Lady Macbeth.
God damn it, dust everywhere. Oh, dear. Well, what a delightful place you're from.
Those are my people.
Jump into.
I'm not from Philly.
It's still like that's. Yeah, you're splitting hairs there. Britt says he had a dead body in his bathtub. Just imagine what he eats off his worktops.
Exactly.
The sign said we're taking 50% off today. Which sign were we talking about? Was that in one of the videos?
I think maybe that's the voice. We're taking.
Well, Chris said, was that the Russian flag in his intro? Which one was the intro one?
That would have been. Hold on.
Although before we get there, I will say that I did like this: forced to address a dead body. Look, you're not going to get an answer.
Yeah. I think it would have been this one. That's not even using the high quality end of Canva. Jesus. Come on, mate.
We do better graphics than that. That is embarrassing for him and for us. He should have done a video where he has the Bane mask on. Yes, you think you're the friend of the bath. So look, back into the comments section. Mark says, I would pay to see him in a room with Anthony Scaramucci and Joe Walsh. They would chew him up. And keeps an oh dear, says Chris. I'm not sure what the oh dear is for.
Just a general.
And then the emoji with the hand over the mouth, which, as we all know, is the emoji for more Bane impressions. Yes.
Maybe that is a Bane. Maybe that's Chris's Bane.
Yes. I don't know any other Bane quotes. I had to Google today for the. I forgot it already. I delivered the line and thought I don't need to remember that anymore.
You just purged it.
Yeah. You think the doctor says you're ally? There you go. Beautiful. Keep the comments coming through, and the Ko-fi link is there on the screen if you'd like to get involved in chucking some coins in our direction. Although Chris says it wasn't a Russian flag, just looked a bit like it.
Yeah, that's close enough.
Right colours and stars and stuff. But right, let's get into another problem that I think we need to address. How have you coped with the lockdown? Because it's been difficult to cope with the lockdown. And it's taken its toll on a lot of fine people, including, and this is a very emotional story. I'm about to show you something that's quite upsetting. If you have been impacted by any of the issues we're about to talk about, there'll be a phone number. There'll be a Ko-fi link at the end. Put some money on that.
Yeah.
Gwyneth Paltrow was so impacted by the pandemic that she ate bread.
Oh.
Jesus. She just couldn't take it anymore. I mean, for her, eating carbs is like self-harm. She was just like, I can't take it. I'm going to eat some bread. And if she would have posted about it, people would have been like, you okay, hun? Don't do bread. And she's like, I'm doing bread on my days. So it's really bad that she ate some bread.
Yeah.
So our hearts go out, thoughts and prayers, to Gwyneth Paltrow, who ate some bread. They've got a quote from the story, and things got pretty dark. It's not just, of course, it's not just eating bread. That would be childish. She admitted to drinking as many as 2 cocktails a night during the lockdown. 2 cocktails. And sometimes eating bread and pasta. Now, I didn't realise that was a cry for help. If it was, like every time I walk past a Greg's, I think I'm having a breakdown. We shouldn't be surprised because her relationship to things like food is clearly slightly off what your average opinion is. And you can tell that given that her website is called Goop. She thinks the word goop is a positive word. Oh, what do you fancy eating? Some goop? Oh, yeah, I'm Gwyneth Paltrow and I'd love it. Everyone else is thinking that's slop. You might as well have a website brand called Shite. Do you want some of that? Oh, it sounds lovely. No, it's a bunch of shite. So, look, I don't know if anyone's turned to bread, having some of the roll, having some of the Pillsbury Doughboy. It's bad for a lot of you. And we're joined now by someone who has had dark times during the pandemic. We've changed their appearance to protect their identity. Hello. Hello, Steve. Thank you very much for being here. Literally didn't have a choice because I am you. So how have you been coping? I think I've coped well. Yeah, I mean, it's been a difficult time, but I must be coping well because I've not eaten any bread. Oh, how'd you manage that? You just try and do other things to keep busy, you know, like staying up all night watching the news, rocking backwards and forwards, dribbling, cry wanking, you know, just things to keep myself busy. Well, at least you've not been eating any bread. No, I've not eaten any bread, so I must be doing well. Well, it's an achievement to not order pizzas. Well, I've still been ordering pizzas, Steve, but I've just sat there in my boxer shorts licking the topping off them because doing anything else would make me look crazy. All right, so you understand where Gwyneth's coming from? Oh, I totally understand why Gwyneth would do it. More than me. I mean, if I sold a candle that smelled like my vagina, I'd probably try and avoid yeast too. And we'll leave that there. Thank you very much for joining me. Honestly, who books these guests?
I don't know.
There you go. Acting. Method. Put some links up.
Can you actually have real guests once? Because they might hug you.
No. When we're in studio, it's going to be harder.
Can we go back to where it talked about her drinking? I think that was the second slide. Is that the second one?
Yeah.
Can you bring that up again? She was drinking twice during lockdown, 2 cocktails a night. And it says there, quinoa-based whiskey.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck's sake. I mean, it was levels of wank, just off the scale.
Whoever invented quinoa-based
whiskey.
Like, why?
Probably works for Gwyneth Paltrow.
And it just turns up as a bottle of goop, and she'd think that's a positive.
Oh, yeah. I made it with quinoa. Oh, did you? How much is it?
Probiotic bullshit.
£100 a bottle?
Yeah,
no problem. Can you taste the difference? Yes, quinoa. No one knows.
I mean, how can she taste? She thinks that candle smells like a muff, so she's clearly, I don't know what's happening to her. I must admit, so she has that macrobiotic diet, which I thought I was on, because every so often I tip a Yakult into a glass of Bailey's, but it turns out that's not enough. So,
it's not.
I don't know.
Sounds like it should be enough.
I think it is.
We'll do one more stab at the comments. Don't forget, while you're there, you can subscribe to the channel. And also, I can see someone just bought us a Ko-fi, so thank you very much for that. Going back to the flag, Mark thought it looked more like Liechtenstein, not the Russian flag. Oh, yeah. Don't confuse them. Don't get him upset.
Big fan of his work.
Yeah. Mark, just going to carry on. Britt says, does her fanny candle have a yeasty ting to it now? So there you go.
I feel like that's almost the lyrics to an old song that they used to sing on ships.
Does her fanny candle have a yeasty ting to it now?
It's a sea shanty. I would bang on the desk to just sea shanty, but all of our mics are on desks. We can't get away with that.
Okay. Well, yeah. All right. Mark says, why are we surprised she ate bread? She sold candles that smelled of yeast. So we've got a theme now happening of the yeasty candle. Chris Hood says, thoughts and prayers for Gwen with some little tear emojis. Bearberg says, morning. And that sounded wrong, he says. Steve from Leatherdale says, method pixelation.
Yeah. Did you like the special effects?
It was nice. So did that stuff stick to your face, or how did that feel once you took it off?
Well, it came off when I was using some oil of Olay, as I do anyway, so it's fine.
You should. Mark says, I must admit, I faltered. It started with a finger roll. I thought I could cope. Then it became a bap. I thought, then two. Then I found in a doorway an empty Warburton's wrapper. I think I acted that well.
That was real good. That was, yeah.
That's good. Jack says, Fanny Kendall was a famous 18th century actress and mistress of the monarch. There you go.
We should have our own Wikipedia. That'd be fun.
I think that definitely we should have that. And these guys are funny enough. Did I miss one?
Bayberg's one, the one before that sounded wrong. I don't know if it's been blotched out of the YouTube page, but
I don't see that one.
It's just skipped up. I need to go up and have a look now. Bayberg said, came in at vagina. Did I miss a conversation about bananas again?
No, where's my banana?
At least a banana scented candle would make more sense. Because people might think, I want this room to smell like bananas.
Never mind. Let's not talk about that anymore. I think we're nearly caught up on the comments. I think we've solved all the problems.
Yeah, Mark did say, any relation to Fanny by Gaslight? I don't even...
How do you explain this to other people?
You don't need the gaslight. You need the dark. I was born in the dark, conceived in the dark, which explains a lot.
He would enjoy spaghetti on the counter.
Cookery with pain. Slops it all out.
That'd be a good show. We can do that next. That'll be the next lockdown. We'll do a cooking show.
Got the fake mask. Just got to fit my head in the right place. It's like trying to chase the nose, like last week.
Let's see. A couple more comments here. Chris says it would make more sense.
Go on, explain that one.
Because he's done sense as in it smells, and that whatever he was talking about would make more logical sense. Nice. So he's done a pun. And Marcus said, especially after a bowl of peanuts, which I'm not sure what that refers to. But can't always understand all of the comments.
Britt says, as long as it's on the banana-scented Fanny.
Oh, I think that one got retracted.
Anything with rude words, they seem to be showing up for me, but not for Eric. It's fun.
I'm a very sensitive young man. Retracted. I don't know if it's blocked or retracted. Anyway, are we going to be back on Thursday?
Yes, back on Thursday, 9:30 for more of this. We're calling it entertainment, and no one's here to prove us wrong. So
I think it's a Golden Globes award-winning show.
We might have to give it back straight away. Damn it!
That would just be
this year. If they send them out, they might as well include an envelope because it's got to happen.
Will be returned. So we'll be back at 9:30 on Thursday. You can keep watching the kids. I just saw Eric is using YouTube Kids.
Yeah, I guess you are.
But I'm the older one.
Why do you have it on like super moderated so that anything that's a bit rude is being edited out of your machine?
I think it is. I don't know. I'll check that later. I'm very sensitive. Very sensitive. There's someone else has done a Ko-fi. Thank you for that. So keep the Ko-fis coming. That gives us hope for a new future and a better tomorrow.
You see, Chris Hood said, whichever comes first. It's the new catchphrase for those who've never seen it. Yep. Last time we did one of these shows and Eric signed off with, we'll see you this coming Thursday or next Tuesday, whichever comes first.
You don't know. I've just been catching up on all the Discovery. There's a lot of time travel going on.
Yeah. Bayerberg says it's the Sky porn block. That might be the problem. Maybe for Thursday's show, if we have we probably will. We don't have to write too many jokes. We might just do a bit where we see if people can send a variety of rude phrases. Swear words will be obviously filtered out. But if you can find a phrase that is filtered out that's not that rude, or one that isn't filtered out when it is quite rude, that'd be quite fun.
There we go. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. You guys have homework now.
Yeah.
So
like squelch feels like there must be other words to put around squelch that triggers a porn filter.
And the other thing to think about, don't forget to start preparing yourselves that we will be moving to Wednesdays from June forward, because we have a hope of having live work again. It's not really, don't have any gigs booked, but still.
God, I've not seen you for ages. Hug. I'll be back to doing this twice a week.
It doesn't like that. Like cry wanking. Game on. Okay.
You're right. I mean, although that didn't get filtered, you saw the phrase cry wanking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's
not
Is
rude.
there any other kind?
That's perfunctory. Yeah.
No.
It's just good for you.
Right. All right. We are going to sign off now. This is just descending into madness. Thank you very much for the Ko-fis. Thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for liking the show. We will see you on Tuesday or Thursday, whichever comes first.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this from Comic Solving Problems.
And if you feel like it, go ahead and like the video.
Or subscribe. Commitment.